The hands that do the work. The hands that do the work vary greatly in their size. Unless you take the time to ponder, you may never realize the different kinds of things that are accomplished every day by the hands of men and women doing things in their own way. The hands that till the soil, the hands that shape the wood, the hands that sew our clothing much better than we could, the hands that drive the trucks, the tractors and the cabs, the hands that do the bookwork, the hands that work in labs, the hands that build the buildings or run the big machine, the hands that wash the dishes, the hands that keep things clean, the hands that build the roads and lay the tracks and run the train, the hands that work the keyboards, hands that work despite the pain, the hands of skillful doctors, the hands that nurse the sick, the hands that minister the law, bringing justice sure and quick, the hands in factories and mills, the hands in colleges and schools, the hands in shops and stores that bring our furniture, our tools, the hands who rock the cradle, the hands that prepare our meals, the hands of those who sell things, who make the, quote, big deals, the hands that fix things that break, the hands that make things new, the hands that feed the hungry, who volunteer to help and do, the hands that minister for their God in churches round the earth, the hands that paint the pictures, write the music, rhyme the verse, the hands of those who run things, the executive and the boss, but the hands that did the greatest work were nailed to the cross. His last words, "It is finished." Death now stilled his mortal hands. His work was done, his glory yet undone throughout the lands. So now our hands must be as his, serving each and every day. The loving hands of men and women doing things in his own way. It was funny. I wrote this just before we went to the Philippines on our mission. We were going over as employment specialists, and part of our training that we had before we went was at the Deseret Industries, where they have the employment centers here locally, and that's learned. And it just got me to thinking about all the different kinds of work that people do, and that's kind of what brought that to mind and why I wrote that initially. And while we were in the Philippines, I shared this poem quite a bit, and one of the Philippine members of the church that we did quite a bit of work with said, why don't you write one about the feet? And he'd written something that he shared with me that was kind of humorous and fun. But I got to thinking, the feet are about as important as the hands are in a lot of ways. And so I wrote this. This is just entitled Human Feet. The feet of human beings, since the time for us began, have been the means of travel for the family of man. Feet have spread man's habitation to the corners of the earth. Men have even left footprints on the moon, for what that's worth. Feet have taken men and women many places through the years, feet running to their loved ones, or feet running from their fears. There are feet that wear the shoes of farmers in the fields. There are feet that wear old sandals, new slippers, or high heels. There are feet that climb the ladders of success in companies. There are feet that wear their safety shoes in mills and factories. There are feet that walk the polished floors of offices and halls. There are feet wearing Keds and Nikes as they play basketball. There are feet that climb the mountains, their goal to reach the top. There are feet that love to dance. Oh, may their music never stop. There are feet of children running through puddles in the rain. There are feet that hurt to walk on, but must, despite the pain. There are feet that walk the beaches with sand between their toes. There are feet that wander aimlessly, going where nobody knows. There are feet of worried mothers pacing up and down the floor. There are feet of wayward children, afraid to enter daddy's door. There are feet of soldiers marching to and from the battleground. There are feet that never get back home. Some feet are never found. There are feet that once were washed
by the man from Galilee, shortly before his feet were nailed to that cross on Calvary.